Hey, what's up guys, conas or how you all doing? So how's everyone's assault levels today? Pretty low, I hope? Well, let's take a look at Mag and her rework. So before the rework, Shield Polarize was Mag's go-to ability. Against Corpus and in the Void, it could yield incredible amounts of kills, but against Grineer and Infested, she was pretty much useless, let's be honest, unless maybe you were spamming pull. So hopefully the rework will make her more of a rounded frame, capable of taking on all of the factions and not just one. And I guess you could say it kind of has, and maybe it hasn't as well. Now, her Polarize ability now sends a wave effect out from Mag, dealing damage to enemy shields or armor depending on the enemy type, and leaving shards of, I guess, energy or whatever on the ground. These shards can then be pulled into her new Magnetize ability to increase its damage. The Polarize wave will also replenish shields of teammates and companions and so on, and it deals a set amount of damage instead of a percentage regardless of enemy level. So don't expect to pop high level enemies with large shields like you did with Mag before the update, because it just won't happen, and this in fact has a lot of players feeling that Mag has in fact been nerfed. Now, I'm not sure if that's the case or if it's a bit like Saren where we had to move from her Miasma to her Spore ability. With Mag, it might be a case that we have to move from Polarize to her new Magnetize ability, because her Magnetize ability is really good and it makes her a bit of a killing machine, but it's also not without its own issues. Killing teammates and killing your own Sentinel being one of them. You can walk into the Magnetize effect and your Sentinel will also be killed, or your teammates can walk into it and they will just get down straight away. So I'm hoping that that will be hotfixed this week, because it's really not fun at all, and it's another reason why players won't want a Mag in their squad. So her new Magnetize ability works a bit like Bullet Attractor and I guess Vauban's Vortex mixed in with a bit of Nyx's Absorb for good measure. As in, basically when you cast Magnetize on an enemy, it will suck that enemy and any enemies close to it into the centre of the Magnetize effect, as well as incoming bullet fire, as well as shards from your Polarize that hopefully you've cast before it. Absorbed damage will also increase the amount of damage dealt to enemies inside the Magnetize field. The Magnetize field will also explode once the timer runs out, but its blast radius will depend on what range mods you have on, and the damage dealt will depend on what power strength you have, as well as the, I guess, damage that has been absorbed. So now with Mag, you're having to use her Polarize and her Magnetize in combination with each other, and her pull ability and crush ability will also deal increased damage to magnetized enemies. So I know it's a little bit complicated at the minute because the update has just come out and she has just been reworked, but here is how I have been playing my Mag since the rework. With Polarize no longer scaling and being pretty weak sauce at higher levels, it's all about the Magnetize for me and having several bubbles down at once. Low duration is key so you can make the most out of the explosions, and max energy efficiency as well to help with any energy issues, because you are going to be casting Polarize and Magnetize and I guess sometimes Crush if you find yourself in trouble. Now, I can already read the comments, why am I using low duration? But it's simply to maximise the damage output that I can get from Magnetize. I still have 11 seconds on my Magnetize and almost 4 seconds on my Polarize, and like I said, Polarize is pretty weak at higher levels, so you're going to want to work with Magnetize more than it. Now, I have tried a varied build with higher power strength and only 6 seconds on the Magnetize, but your Polarize I think only then has maybe 2 seconds, which is really low, and it's not enough for it to have any real effect on any enemy. And as weak as her Polarize is, you still want some of those shards on the ground to increase your Magnetize damage, or even some of the armor or some shields stripped off enemies to help kill them quicker as well. Now, with Magnetize up, if you pump enough damage into it, enemies inside will melt pretty damn quick. Any enemy outside who then steps in will also melt pretty damn quick. The explosion from Magnetize will deal damage in the hundreds of thousands to certain enemy types if you've put enough damage into it. I've already shown that in my recent changes video at the start. You got to see the type of damage a gas electric crit Lanka could do with one shot to 6 level 135 heavy gunners caught inside a Magnetize. It basically just melted them. But what can other weapons do? What weapons excel with Magnetize and I guess what weapons don't? So I went ahead and I tested a lot of weapons in the simulacrum to see what weapons excelled with Magnetize and I guess what weapons didn't. My favourite is probably the good old Ghostbusters ray gun, the Glaxion. It just seems to work really well. Now the turret is also really good. I have it built for blast and corrosive in the footage, and it crowd controlled enemies inside the Magnetize really well. They couldn't stand up and then they just simply died. Like I said, the Lanka is amazing, but when you're being rushed by a lot of enemies, it wasn't really as effective as I had hoped. And I will show you guys footage of all of the other weapons I tried as well. Now another good one was the Atomos or the Kulstar. The Kulstar was actually really good, but with the Kulstar you have to be careful that you don't kill yourself. So like I said, I will show footage of some of the weapons I tested at the end of the video. Now I can already read the comment section. Shut up potato already, show us your damn mag build. Stop waffling on. So here it is. These are the builds I was testing. Now config B is probably my favourite, and it's probably the one that I'm going to use simply because I have 11 seconds on my Magnetize anymore, and it gets annoying for teammates because they can't shoot enemies with all their bullets being sucked into the Magnetize, and any enemy that just walks around the bubble or slightly to the side of it will kill you because your bullets are getting sucked into the Magnetize and you can't actually shoot that enemy, which is another issue that I have with Magnetize. It's something that I really don't like about it, so hopefully they can do something about that as well. Now of course, how you guys choose to build your mag or mag prime is entirely up to you. Go all out duration if you want a longer polarize with range built in, or go all out power strength, up to you. Your frame, your build, just have fun. Stick in quick thinking if you need it, redirection, it's up to you. I'm still not entirely sure yet whether I fully like the changes to mag or not, but it is nice to be able to run up against Grineer or Infested and actually be able to kill stuff and not feel like you're more of a nuisance to your squad. And I do feel like Magnetize is now her main ability and has a lot of potential to get insane amounts of kills. If you don't, that's fine. If you main mag and you're not happy with the changes, then that's fine, it's understandable. Something that you really enjoyed has now been changed completely and you have a right to feel a bit pissed off. So I will leave you guys, like I said, with the weapons that I tested. Leave a like if you enjoyed the video, don't if you don't. Subscribe for more Warframe, and as always, thanks very much for watching.